Coming in at number 5 on our list of top Panhandle springs is Wakulla Springs State Park, located just south of Tallahassee. This spring has a long history of human activity, going back as far as the Ice Age, and more recent times this lodge was built in the early 20th century. Like most Florida state parks, you can find lots of wildlife. There's a swimming area, a jump tower, and glass-bottom boat tours. Wakulla Springs is famous for being one of the largest and deepest springs in the state of Florida and much of the world. The spring pool has a depth of 350 plus feet. Just to the rim here is 30 to 40 feet deep. The cave system here has been the subject of intense scientific investigation, with cave divers mapping over a dozen miles. The U.S. military also had an interest in the spring during World War II training exercises, as well as Hollywood filming famous movies there. Pay attention to the gator signs. There are big gators at Wakulla. Wakulla Springs was once famous for its very tall dive tower. In modern times, they've taken a few levels off of it, so it's not quite as extreme as it used to be. At number 4, we have Vortex Spring. This is located just north of Ponce de Leon, Florida, not far from the Alabama border. Park admission is $10 to $15, an extra $6 to snorkel near the cave, and $20 to $25 for cave diving. They have a number of training facilities for divers of all different certifications and skill levels. In fact, one of the founders, Denzel Dockery, actually invented the diver down flag in the 1960s. About 10 years later, him and his wife purchased Vortex Spring and opened a dive training facility. The cave entrance is roughly 58 feet, depending on water levels at the time. Cave divers have died at Vortex Spring. In fact, one body's still missing. The park has a nice store with all kinds of dive equipment, pogie bait, snacks. If you're into swimming and jumping into the water, this is the place. The spring run for Vortex has a lot of amenities for kids and adults alike. At number 3 on our list is Morrison Springs. Just down the road from Vortex Spring is a county-run park on the banks of the Choctawhatchee River. We have a long history of Morrison Springs. My kids grew up visiting here since our family had property within a mile of the spring dating back to the 70s. Since acquiring the park in 2004, Walton County has made a lot of improvements, including a beach, gazebo for cookouts, and a swim platform. Morrison has a depth of 40 to 50 feet depending on water levels in the river at the time, roughly 20 to 25 feet down to the tree, and some of the caves go as deep as 300 feet. Morrison has lots of nature, being that it's connected to the Choctawhatchee River through its spring run. There's a number of rope swings and trees that you can climb and jump off of. Kids have a good time jumping. Coming in at number 2 on our list is Cypress Springs, located on Holmes Creek near Vernon, Florida. In order to get to Cypress Springs, you have to have a boat or some kind of paddle craft, and you have to paddle up Holmes Creek until you arrive at Cypress Springs. The water clarity at this spring is probably some of the most beautiful water in the Florida Panhandle. However, the spring did get a little help from man's engineering. There was once a Tannic Creek that flowed through the spring, but it was later diverted to the side. All the land surrounding the spring is privately owned by the Nestle Water Company. After a dispute with the local community, the Nestle Water Company agreed not to strictly enforce trespassing on the banks of the spring. Years ago, people used to climb that tree. You can see the climbing step. This is the main vent for Cypress Spring. The pool has a depth of about 25 feet, depending on water levels at the time. The main vent can go as deep as 75 feet or more. If freedivers and swimmers would like to test their skills, there's this tunnel that I believe is man-made. You can swim through. The rope swing's always popular with the kids, and some people enjoy jumping out of the tree. The number one spring on our list of top Panhandle springs is Jackson Blue, located on Merritt's Mill Pond near Marianna, Florida. We rank this the number one spring on our list because not only do you have an amazing spring at Jackson Blue, but just nearby there are multiple springs in the pond. The main cave entrance for Jackson Blue is roughly about 16 feet deep. They have a diving board directly over the spring, so you have to watch your head. The main cave has been mapped as deep as 4,600 feet. In the past couple years, Jackson County has made renovations to the spring pool in the park to protect it from erosion. A world-renowned cave diver by the name of Ed Sorensen teaches classes in this cave system. That might even be him down there with the red fins. Unfortunately, this spring is only open during a certain time of year, from Memorial Day to Labor Day. If you'd like to access this spring during the off-season, you have to paddle all the way from halfway down the pond, or take a boat. As if Jackson Blue's not enough, this pond boasts a number of other springs, including this one, Shangri-La. And a quick look at Twin Caves. This has an extensive cave system that goes for a long ways underground. So we hope everybody enjoyed our list of top 5 Panhandle springs. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We have many more videos coming soon exploring real Florida.